The female, who was supposed to be infertile, somehow gave birth to 7 eggs. This happened after she transmigrated into the body of the duke's daughter, a person who was ugly, dark-skinned, and had a face full of pockmarks. The 7 wealthy husbands who were originally arranged to marry her would rather go to a detention center and endure the consequences of their estrus than marry Shenua. The original Shenyu, unable to bear the humiliation, ran to Estrus City and forcefully had relations with several males in heat. The duke's family lost all face, and in a fit of rage, banished her to this barren land where there was no food or water, and she had to fight other males for survival. As soon as Shenua transmigrated, she discovered she was pregnant with 7 offspring. This sudden fortune had finally come her way. She was in labor, sweating profusely, and a special scent, one that only a female in labor or estrus emits, wafted from her body. This sweet, alluring scent attracted a bear man with a disabled leg who was nearby. The scent stimulated his animalistic instincts, and all he wanted to do was get close to her. This man wants to violate a pregnant woman, she thought. She was terribly weak, and her babies were about to be born. She couldn't even protect herself, let alone the children about to arrive. So she decided to take a chance, hoping that this man would have some respect for the sacred beliefs of the beast world. Just as the man was about to lunge at her, Shenyu noticed a blood-red tattoo on his waist. "You're a great knight of the K Empire, aren't you?" she asked sharply. The man froze. She had guessed right. The K Empire's great knights were extremely noble. To become a great knight, you must have gone through countless selections, and your combat power must have reached an unheard of level 8 or higher. Who are you? How do you know so much about the great knights of the K Empire? Who I am isn't important, Shenyu replied. As a great knight, why were you banished here? If you don't harm me, and you help me, I can cure your leg and help you regain your former combat power and glory. He looked at Shenyu in disbelief. Curing his leg was a secret he had kept for years, one that no one knew about. In the end, he agreed to help her in exchange for her assistance with his leg. The scent that Shenua was giving off was a fatal poison to males. Simei tried his best to resist this deadly temptation. He couldn't believe this ugly, short female could emit such a strong estrus scent. He couldn't even imagine how happy the male who possessed her would be. This scent was so rare. Simei greedily inhaled it, while also struggling to control his restless, beastly instincts. Shenyu's forehead was slick with sweat. She suddenly felt a sense of exhaustion, and her abdomen cramped painfully. She let out a cry and fainted. Simei rushed into the cave and saw her passed out on the ground, and 7 eggs rolled out from behind her. 7 offspring in one birth. How is that possible? In this beast world, females are extremely rare and precious, not to mention such a rare SSS level fertility. What is the identity of this female, he wondered. If this were in the king's city, wouldn't she be a target for royal males to fight over? It's a shame she's so ugly, with dark skin and a face full of pockmarks. At that moment, he felt a sound from the back of the cave. He quickly turned around and saw one of the eggs rolling out on its own. He reached out and picked up the small child. When he touched the eggshell, he felt a spiritual energy that only males could sense. Why does this energy feel so familiar? It's the high-level spiritual energy that only a king would emit. This female can actually give birth to a pure-blooded male with a king's bloodline. Could it be that Shenua's husband is a member of the royal family? Meanwhile, in the K Empire, the great emperor of the Flood Dragon clan, Prince Ye, sat in a grand hall. His black dragon tail swayed, and the dragon horns on his head glowed green. He used his spiritual power to sense the information coming from his horns. This is the signal that his offspring has been born. The clansmen below were excited. "This is great," they exclaimed. "The Flood Dragon clan hasn't welcomed a new life in 200 years. Who is this noble female who could give birth to a powerful dragon cub? Only a precious female with SSS level fertility can. But females with SSS level fertility are rare, and you can't find many in the entire beast world. Besides, the great emperor has never had a mate before. After the ugly monster he was previously arranged to marry ruined her reputation and was stripped of her noble status and banished, the great emperor never had any contact with any other females." Watching the people below chatter, Prince Yi recalled the one time he completely lost control several months ago in Estrus City. When he woke up, the entire city was in ruins. He remembered a soft, sweet-smelling body that entered his embrace and was forcefully pinned beneath him. Could it have been that time? This damn female, how dare she secretly carry my child? "I'm going out for a while." "Great Emperor, where are you going? Are you going to pick up your mate? I'm going to punish her properly." Meanwhile, Shen Yue was sprawled on a pile of hay. her entire body feeling like it had been taken apart and put back together. Every bone was screaming with soreness. She managed to sit up, her gaze falling on the 7 round, lustrous eggs beside her. She reached out and gently stroked the largest egg. A strange feeling of blood connection surged through her heart. The little one seemed to sense her as well, wiggling excitedly in her arms. A strong sense of protectiveness swelled within Shenye. "Don't worry, I'll be your mother from now on." Simei hadn't expected this ugly female to be so good to her own offspring. Usually, females who gave birth would abandon their children and let their husbands raise them while they took a rest and prepared for their next estrus period. "I'll cure your leg first thing tomorrow morning," Shenua said. "You can really cure my leg?" Simei doubted her ability. He had previously sought out the legendary S-level healing system, but that person told him that his leg could only be cured by an SSS-level healer. He had given up hope 10 years ago. "I'll do what I say, but I need to get some good sleep first." After the original Shenua was banished to this barren land, she didn't have a fixed place to live. The cave she was in before was small, damp, and empty. At least Simuye's cave had hay and a separate room and was warm. A bear's cave digging skills are truly a cut above, she thought. She wanted to stay here for the night to regain her strength. She knew that as long as she opened her portable spirit spring space, she would have no problem with food or clothes. Not only could she cure his leg, but she could also get rid of the toxins on her face and restore her original appearance. When she first transmigrated, she discovered that the original owner's dark skin wasn't natural, and the pockmarks on her face weren't either. It was caused by chronic poisoning from long-term exposure to a certain toxin, which caused abnormal skin pigmentation, resulting in black or brown spots. Shenyu hugged her 7 little cubs and had a good night's sleep. When she woke up in the morning, Simei was nowhere to be found. She greeted each of her 7 eggs. In the beast world, cubs need to be incubated by their fathers, but Shenyu didn't know who the father of her children was, so she had to act as both father and mother, incubating them with her own body heat. So from today on, she had to start preparing for the cubs to hatch. At the very least, she had to prepare a comfortable, warm home for them. She took a deep breath and closed her eyes, opening her spiritual spring with her mind. She took out some vegetables and fruits, as well as some fish and meat. The time she had set in her spiritual spring was static, so any ingredient she put in would always remain fresh. The spring also contained a pond of vitality water, the purest spiritual spring water. It could cure 100 diseases and clear away poisons, and could even be a lifesaver in critical moments. It was also the miraculous water that helped her cure difficult and complicated diseases. She took some of the spiritual spring water, ready to cure Simei's leg. The spiritual spring was linked to her mind and soul power. The stronger her mind and soul power were, the more spiritual energy the spring would have. However, if she used the spiritual spring too many times in one day, her mind and soul power would be affected. Given the weakness of her current body, taking out this much with her mind was already her limit for the day. When Simei returned with a bundle of hay, he saw a pile of things next to Shenua. He was so shocked his voice trembled. Where did all this come from? He had only been gone for a little while. Could it be that this female's mate brought it? He used his spiritual energy but didn't sense any males nearby. Shenua pointed to the fish. "Do you want to eat it raw, or do you want to try my exclusive grilled fish?" "I'll cure your leg after we eat," she continued. "My leg?" His voice was stiff as he began to get nervous. Can my leg really be cured? His hands, which were arranging the hay, were tense. "The firewood is in the dirt at your feet." He knew that this ugly female didn't like to eat raw food. It seemed she wanted to eat grilled fish. Shenyu knelt on the ground and pulled the firewood out of the dirt. She sat in front of the stone slab stove she had built last night and began to grill. In the beast world, no beast person would think of cooking fish. They would usually eat it raw as soon as they caught it, since fish died easily once they were out of water. Eating it immediately was the best way to store it. He stared at Shenyu as she seriously grilled the fish. What else can't this ugly female do? He wondered. At that moment, some small animals outside the cave, smelling the delicious aroma, unconsciously ran toward the scent. Simei's eyes suddenly narrowed. Oh no, this scent has also attracted other beast people. Shenyu also noticed and immediately stood up. It's the people from the grizzly bear tribe. I'm all too familiar with that scent. What's that smell? It's so good! Whose cave is this? Come out! Simei walked out. This is your cave? What kind of food is in there? Bring it out and let us see. How shameless. Shenyu's voice came from the cave entrance. As males with hands and feet, you rely on stealing other people's food to survive. Do you even deserve to be called males? Do you even deserve to be called bears? When the grizzly bear males saw Shenyu, they recognized her. Oh, it's you, that ugly female. How dare you mock us? Who is this, your new mate? Hurry up and bring out the food in your cave. Or don't blame us for being rude to your mate. Simuye's ears turned slightly red when he was mistaken for Shenyue's mate. At the same time, he was surprised that these people knew Shenyu, and from their tone, it seemed they had bullied her a lot. He threw a punch, and the male instantly flew several feet and landed on the ground with a heavy thud, his bones feeling as if they were shattered. The other males widened their eyes in shock. Simei was releasing a powerful spiritual energy and a high-level male pressure. If you bully him again, you're asking for death. The grizzly bears were so stunned by the powerful spiritual energy that they turned and ran. We can't mess with him. We can't mess with him. We don't know where that ugly female found such a powerful mate. It looks like we'll have to take a detour from now on. Back in the cave, Shenyu handed the grilled fish to Simei. As he ate the delicious fish in his hand, he wanted to ask her about not having a mate, but he held back. Thank you. They won't dare to bully me anymore. He glanced at the 7 eggs on the soft hay. A few of them were playfully rolling around. The biological father of these vibrant cubs, with a king's spiritual energy, must be someone extraordinary. It seems that after the cubs' biological father mated with this ugly female, he looked down on her and abandoned her. Thinking of this, he felt a pang of pity for Shenyu. Such an excellent and noble female with high fertility and cooking skills, you probably can't find a second one in the entire beast world. It's too despicable to be abandoned just because she's ugly. What a hateful man. He must be blind to not cherish her. He swore that no matter if he could cure his own leg or not, if he ever met that irresponsible male, he would beat him up severely. After they finished eating, Shenyu handed him the vitality water she had prepared earlier. Drink this, and I'll cure your leg. Simei sat on the ground, his muscles tense. He looked at the small cup of clear water and drank it without question. Don't worry, your leg will get better. Lie down. Simei took a deep breath and obediently lay on the ground. Take off your pants. The 4 words came without warning. Do you want to take them off yourself? Or should I take them off for you? Simei froze. What? Take them off myself? Or have her take them off for me? Shenyu calmly took out a few silver needles and began to measure on his leg. I need to perform acupuncture, all the way up to your thigh and buttocks. Simei's wheat-colored skin visibly turned red. His breathing became hot. What are you doing? My buttocks? I'll have to be naked. He had an uncomfortable with nudity complex. Relax. It's normal to feel this way the first time you take off your pants in front of a doctor. You'll get used to it after a few more times. A few more times? Simei's face was flushed with embarrassment. How can this woman say such a shameful thing with a straight face? What kind of beast person constantly takes off his pants in front of a female? As a skilled physician, Shenyu had seen a lot. She once helped a patient with an overly enlarged corpus cavernosum and azoospermia, and she even performed acupuncture on the patient's private parts. That patient almost fainted when he saw her after lying on the bed. He shouted and said he wanted to be knocked out with tranquilizers. The expression on Simei's face was almost identical to that patient's. If you're really embarrassed, just close your eyes and pretend you can't see. If you can't see it, you won't feel ashamed. The point of this move is that as long as I'm not embarrassed, everyone else will be. Besides, I'm a physician. I won't look at you inappropriately, unless I can't help it. Listening to Shenyu's words, Simei's face was strained as he tried to calm himself down. To cure this leg and return to the peak of my combat power, I'll risk it. He gritted his teeth and tore off his pants. Whoa! Shenyu's eyes went wide. This is a bear, after all. This is not normal. It's really not normal. It's different from anyone else I've ever seen. Simei felt her burning gaze, and he wished he could dig a hole and crawl into it. He had actually believed her nonsense. Forget it, I'll just die. This ugly female was just trying to trick him. He abruptly pulled up his pants. Shenyu reacted and grabbed his hand. Okay, I won't look anymore. I'll cure your leg now. Simei gritted his teeth. You better do what you say. Seeing his I'd rather die expression, Shenyu discovered a new world. It's so cute that a proud male beast can get so shy. The thin silver needle went straight through his knee without a single drop of blood. Simei was shocked. How did he do that? Simei stared at the needle in his hand, not daring to move, ask, or even breathe too loudly. At the same time, a glimmer of hope sparked in his heart. Can he really cure my leg? Unfortunately, while Simei was still in shock, Shenyu knocked him out with another acupuncture. He finally woke up when Shenyu pulled out the needles. He felt the bone-piercing pain in his right leg was miraculously gone. "You're awake. Do you feel better?" Shenyu asked. "It's more than just better. It feels so good. It's as if every blocked part of my body is unblocked. Okay, you can put your pants on now." Simei just realized he was still butt naked. He immediately turned around, blushing, and grabbed his pants. "Hey, there's a red butterfly-shaped scar on your left butt cheek." "Who told you to look?" Simei demanded. "It wasn't on purpose. I had to flip you over to acupuncture the front," Shenyu replied. Simei's face turned so red, it looked like it was about to bleed. He stood up abruptly and quickly ran out of the cave. "So embarrassing. So suffocating," he thought. Shenyu watched his speedy retreat. He's running so fast, so he's definitely not in pain anymore. Shenyu returned to her cave with the eggs. She gently touched each of the 7 eggs. "Little ones, I wonder what kind of beasts you are." As she was talking, one of the eggs suddenly moved. The eggshell cracked with a sound. Shenyu watched in amazement as a fluffy little head popped out. Its golden fur shone with light. A pair of big, round eyes, like black gemstones, slowly opened. The little nose was pink and cute, sniffing the air with curiosity. Shenyu's eyes lit up. "What a cute little fur ball. I didn't expect it to be a little golden lion." The little golden lion saw Shenyu squatting in front of him. He sniffed her nose and softly called out, "Mother, mother smells so good." Shenyu's heart melted. He was so adorable. She didn't expect the original owner to be pregnant with a golden lion's cub. This breed was too rare. Although there were many beasts in the beast world, pure-blooded golden lions were a rarity. And this little golden cub in her arms was the most pure-blooded of the golden lion tribe. Could it be that the original owner had intercourse with a pure-blooded golden lion when she broke into Estra City that day? She vaguely remembered that there was more than one man at that time. She didn't know whose child she was pregnant with in the end. Now it seemed the golden lion's genes were strong enough to successfully impregnate her. No matter who the golden lion was, at least the baby wasn't a strange-looking beast. Shenyu felt relieved holding the cub. The little one was very clingy. "Mother, I'm sleepy." "Go to sleep, Mother will hold you." Shenyu found him cuter and cuter. No wonder mothers had mother's love blinders. Shenyu was about to let the cub sleep for a while when an uninvited guest, Xiong Zhao Zhao, showed up and interrupted their bonding time. "Shenyu! Come out now! If you don't, I'll smash your cave door!" Shenyu carefully placed the cub on the haymat and walked out. She saw Xiong Zhao Zhao with her hands on her hips. "You ugly female, you're finally out," she said. She then looked at Shenyu's flat stomach. "Where's your cub? Did it die as soon as it was born? Did you just eat SH*T? "Your mouth is so foul," Shenyu retorted. Xiong Zhaojiao's eyes widened. "Did I hear that right? Shenyu actually dared to talk back?" Her husband pulled on her sleeve. "Wife, maybe we should just forget it. She has a new and powerful husband now." Xiong Zhao pushed him away. "Look how weak you are. This ugly monster, what man would want to be with her? Shenyu, if you have the guts, call out your new husband and let me see him. He dared to injure my 5th one, so I won't let you off the hook." "Is your husband useless? He tried to steal food from someone's cave and got beaten, and you're blaming him?" Shenyu shot back. Several of her husbands felt a bit guilty. Only the strongest one, a male leopard with a menacing look, sneered, "In this barren land, the one with the hardest fist makes the rules. You're saying we're useless? Believe it or not, I'll smash your cave to pieces." Xiong Da flexed his muscles and walked towards Shenyu. As the man approached, Shenyu clenched the silver needles in her fingers. Everyone has a few deadly points. If this bear dares to smash her cave, she'll kill him. She would never allow anyone to harm her cubs. "Get out of the way, I'm going to smash this ugly female's cave." The man pushed Shenyu with such brute force that she stumbled and fell. The silver needle in her hand pierced his lower ribs. Suddenly, a golden figure rushed out and bit Xiongda's leg. "Bad guy, don't hurt my mother." Xiongda was in pain from the cub's sharp teeth. He kicked his leg, and the little golden lion flew out like a broken kite. "Dabao!" Shenyu's eyes turned red, and she lunged forward. Just as she thought her baby would be smashed into a pulp, a figure quickly flew over and caught the golden furball. It was Simei. Shenyu ran over and saw the little one in his arms, shaking all over from fear. Dabao wants to protect Mother. Dabao won't let the bad guy bully Mother. Shenyu's eyes instantly reddened. "He's so small, but he already knows how to protect me. Let Mother see if you're hurt." She placed the little golden lion on her lap and checked his small body. When her hand touched his ribs, Dabao cried out in pain. This beast actually broke one of Dabao's ribs. Shenua was grateful that Simei had arrived in time. If he had been a moment later, she couldn't imagine what would have happened to her and her newborn cub. Her aura dropped, and she looked at Xiang Zhaozhao and her husbands with cold fury. Xiang Zhaozhao was startled by Simei's sudden appearance. When she saw his face, her eyes lit up. What a handsome male! Xiang Zhaozhao looked at Simei with a lovesick expression. If this man doesn't have a mate, I've hit the jackpot. Simei's anger flared. He raised his fist and punched Xiang Zhaozhao's husband. Then he kicked Xiang Da, who flew away and fainted on the ground. Xiang Zhaozhao's eyes widened in fear. The remaining husbands also trembled. Dabao! Shenua looked at the little golden lion in her arms who had fainted from the pain. She immediately opened her spiritual spring, took out some vitality water, and poured it into his mouth. She tenderly put the little one back on the haymat. When she turned around, her eyes were filled with coldness. Xiang Zhaozhao, I want you to return the pain Dabao suffered 1,000 times over. What do you want to do? I just hurt your cub. How about you beat my cubs instead? The husbands looked at their wife in shock. Their wife would actually let their cubs get beaten? Shen Yu looked at Xiang Zhaozhao coldly. Do you deserve to be a mother? You can sacrifice your own children for your own sake. Shen Yui didn't give her a chance to react. She pierced her neck with a needle. Xiang Zhaozhao's vision went black. You're blinded. Shen Yu felt that wasn't enough. It would be too easy to just kill her. Xiang Zhaozhao, you will use your eyes to pay for the pain Dabao suffered. The ruthlessness that erupted from Shen Yui even shocked Simei. It was the first time he had ever felt a kingly aura from a female. With the little golden lion in her arms, Simei couldn't help but say, Ayue, why don't you live with me? My cave is spacious and more suitable for you and the cubs. Shen Yu agreed readily. Thank you, Simei. If you hadn't shown up, Dabao would have been in trouble. You don't need to thank me. I should be the one thanking you. You cured my leg and gave me a chance to live again. Shen Yue followed Simei back to his cave and redecorated it. Simei even picked up a flat stone from outside to make a stove so Shen Yue could cook. But they could only do grilling and not make soup. So Shen Yue decided to go to the grizzly bear tribe to get back the things Xiang Zhaozhao had stolen from the original owner. Shen Yue and Simei arrived at the grizzly bear tribe and saw that Xiang Zhaozhao had gotten her karma. An estrus black bear had broken into her cave, grabbing the blinded Xiang Zhaozhao and mating with her. Her husbands had all run away with the cubs, leaving only the dead Xiang Da at the cave entrance. Xiang Zhaozhao's screams and the intense thumping sounds from the cave made Simei's face turn red. He's so embarrassed, could it be that he doesn't have that thing? Shen Yu thought, I'm single. I don't have a mate. How could I have that? There's a free tutorial for that now. You should learn more, so you'll know what to do when you need it. Shen Yue said. Simei's scalp burned up. How can this woman say such a thing with a straight face? Weren't you here to find this stuff? Go on. Shen Yu found the pot for collecting water under a tree and took some other useful things. When they returned to the cave entrance, Simei stopped. Someone was here. Shen Yue instantly rushed in and froze when she got to the haymat. Dabao was still there, but one egg was missing. Simei turned and chased after the person. Shen Yue quickly followed him. Suddenly, a small black creature scurried out from behind the bushes, with half of an eggshell on its head. The little thing fell to the ground after running out. It tried its best to use its little paws to push the eggshell off its head. It had a pair of big, round eyes with light green pupils. It took a step toward Shen Yue, mother. You are Bao's mother. Shen Yue looked at the little black leopard in front of her, feeling a little unbelievable. Simei was also shocked. Logically speaking, no matter how many cubs she gives birth to, they should all be the same species. Could it be that Ayu mated with 2 males at the same time and got pregnant with both? He thought. Ayu is too fierce. Bao, you scared me to death. Did you run out of the cave yourself? Bao doesn't know. Someone picked Bao up and gave him a warm feeling. Bao hatched all of a sudden. Shen Yue and Simei exchanged a look. Sure enough, someone had been there. Simei used his spiritual power, but couldn't find any strange aura. The person had only picked up Bao and didn't harm him. Instead, he even used his spiritual power to make him hatch early. Simei guessed that it was the great General Muslin of the Black Panther family in the K Empire. He had heard that he possessed extraordinary spiritual power, but lived in seclusion in Twilight City, staying out of world affairs. Hidden in the shadows, a man in a black robe watched the scene of Shen Yue and her cubs huddled together. Is this little thing really my son? When he saw Shenyu's face, he almost fell. It's really this ugly female. A few months ago, in Estrus City, he had lost his mind during his estrus period. When he woke up, he was covered in bite marks, and there was a scratch on his butt. The bite marks were obviously left after intercourse. After he returned to Twilight City, he felt that something was wrong, as if he had lost something important. Now he finally knew. He had lost his years of chastity. When the news spread that the Duke's daughter had caused a commotion in Estrus City and had intercourse with an unknown male in Estrus, he felt uneasy. How could it be such a coincidence? Shortly after, he received a letter from the Duke's family asking to annul their engagement. At that time, his entire tribe was happy to finally be free from the engagement with that ugly female. He had a hunch and didn't annul the engagement. He secretly followed her with his men. He didn't expect this female to really be Shenua, and she had even given birth to his cub. His subordinate beside him knew he was feeling defeated. General, just bear with it. Maybe this is fate's arrangement. Muslin couldn't stand it. He wanted to turn and leave. At that moment, Shenua walked back into the cave with the little black leopard in her arms. Erbao, Mother will never let anyone take you away again. Mother will protect you. Erbao will protect Mother too, just like Big Brother. No, that's too dangerous. You can only protect Mother when you grow up. Muslin watched this heartwarming scene. He didn't expect Shenua, despite being ugly, to be so loving to her cubs. Could it be that all the rumors were false? General, Miss Shenua is not as bad as the rumors say. Why don't we take her back to Twilight City? Take her back? Let's observe her first. Erbao, go and sleep with your big brother. Mother will make you some delicious food. The little one lay next to his big brother and closed his eyes. Shenua looked at the little golden lion beside her who was bigger than her. What's going on with Dabao? Why isn't he awake yet? On the throne of Golden Stream Mountain, a man with golden curly hair and a crown was in a deep sleep. Your Majesty, since you've annulled the engagement with that ugly female, why not marry the Duke's daughter instead? The Duke's daughter is not only beautiful, but also has a high fertility value. If you don't make a decision soon, the Duke's daughter will be engaged to another royal male, and you won't have a chance. His attendant said. The man on the throne suddenly opened his eyes. Don't bother, I just had a spiritual link dream. In the dream, I saw a little golden lion calling me father. A spiritual link dream? Only a biological father and son can share a spiritual link dream. Your Majesty, do you have a little prince? How could it be false? But I didn't see what his mother looked like in the dream. That day in Estrus City, I was out of control. The sweet scent from that female stimulated my nerves and made me want more. When I returned to Golden Stream Mountain, I felt like it wasn't a dream. Send the word out. I, Yellow Key, have a mate. She is the most beautiful woman in the entire beast world. I'm going to bring her and my little prince back to the mountain. Shenua made some fresh fish soup with crucian carp and grilled the meat that Simei brought back. She also fried some eggs on a stone slab. Simei, following Shenua's instructions, cut some bamboo and wove a basket. Ayu, bamboo can be used to make such things. You're amazing. Shenua flipped the fried eggs on the stone slab. Bamboo is full of treasures. The sprouts can be stir-fried or dried. There are so many ways to eat bamboo. Simei was surprised. Bamboo has so many ways to be eaten? Shenyu said that, besides meat, there are many other things to eat in this world. If he only ate meat, he would develop high cholesterol and high uric acid. Thanks to you for curing my leg. I'll be more careful from now on. Muslin, who was hiding in the shadows, was salivating from the delicious scent coming from the cave. That Shenua can even cure diseases? If he wasn't mistaken, Simei was the K Empire's #1 warrior and great knight. He had heard that his body was damaged and his spiritual power had declined. Now that he was living with Shenyu, the damaged part was his leg. Shenua had cured him. How can this ugly female know so much? His subordinate also thought of this. General, Miss Shenyu can cure diseases. How can she have healing spiritual power? To restore a damaged body to S-level spiritual power, one must be an SSS-level physician. But an SSS-level physician has never appeared in the entire beast world. If this ugly female is truly one, wouldn't it shock the entire beast world? At that moment, Dabao's voice came from the haymat. Shenyu immediately ran over. The little one was finally awake. Shenyu knelt down to check on his body and see if his bones had healed. She tickled his tummy, making him kick his legs and laugh. Dabao's laughter woke up. Erbao, Mother, Erbao wants to. Shenyu immediately reached out and hugged him. Simei watched this heartwarming moment, and his heart filled with warmth. Ayu, the chopsticks and bamboo plates are ready. Dabao, Erbao, let's eat with Mother. Shenue planned to teach them how to use chopsticks. Look, you have to use your fingers to hold the chopsticks like this. It's much cleaner, and you won't burn your hands when you eat cooked food. Simei looked at Shenue with admiration. The two little cubs also listened to Shenue carefully. Mother knows your spiritual power is weak since you were just born, so you can't transform into your human form yet, Shenue said. Before she could finish, Dabao took a deep breath and transformed into a golden-haired, beast-eared little baby. Wow, Dabao, you transformed. Simei was also shocked. The little one was only 5 days old, but he could already transform into his human form. Erbao also tried to hold his breath. The fur on his head stood up, but he couldn't transform. Muslin, who was in the dark, clenched his fists and secretly cheered for Erbao. But Erbao cried instead. "Is this little cub really my son? Is that all you can do?" the general's subordinate asked. "The little general has only been out of his shell for less than a day. Wait 2 more days and see." Muslin stared at the cub in Shenue's arms, unconvinced. "Who is this little golden lion? He can transform just a few days after being born." The subordinate cautiously spoke. "In the entire K Empire, only the bloodline of the Golden Lion royalty from Golden Stream Mountain has such powerful spiritual energy." Muslin's expression instantly soured. "Are you talking about the Golden Lion King, Yeluqi? It's not necessarily the Golden Lion King himself. After all, he's arrogant and looks down on everyone." "How could he possibly mate with Miss Shenyu?" the subordinate replied. Muslin suddenly remembered a rumor. Wasn't one of the 7 beast tribes, Shenue, was engaged to a member of the Golden Lion royalty? It's probably not her fiancé. The people engaged to Miss Shenyu all loathed her. How could they have had intercourse with her? The subordinate reasoned. Upon hearing this, Muslin thought, "And what about me? I was one of those fiancés who had intercourse with her." He quickly corrected himself. "It was an accident, General. You lost your mind. It was out of your control." At this moment, Erbao's crying grew louder. Shenyu looked at his leg-kicking fit, finding it both funny and adorable. After she comforted Erbao, they all sat at the stone table, chewing on rabbit meat, eating fried eggs, and drinking fish soup. The aroma drifted toward Muslin, who couldn't help but swallow his saliva. "Is it really that delicious?" His subordinate, also drooling, replied, "General, Miss Shenue is a master chef from the southern city. The smell is too fragrant. Even our royal chef in Twilight City can't make food this good." Muslin was also secretly surprised. The rumors said that the Duke's daughter, Miss Shenyu, was a spoiled brat who had everything handed to her and was completely useless. He didn't expect her to be so knowledgeable and even able to cook. Muslin felt a sense of curiosity toward Shenue, wanting to know more about her, but when he looked at her freckled face, he couldn't help but look away. Shenyu had been busy taking care of the cubs these past 2 days, and didn't have time for herself. Today, she deliberately added some vitality water to the fish soup. She knew that as long as she had a good night's sleep, the black spots on her skin would fade. That night, Shenyu held the 2 cubs and quickly fell asleep. In her dream, she found herself in a blue palace. On a large bed lay a naked man. Underneath his abs was a long fishtail. His beautiful face was like a painting. "He's a merman," she thought. She remembered that there was a mysterious underwater kingdom in the KD Empire's sea, and the royal family of the kingdom was the merman tribe. At this moment, Lan Yue was in the midst of his estrus, immersed in his own spiritual world. He used his merman tribe's dream linking ability to create a dream with his mate. In the dream, he couldn't see his mate's face, but he could feel the sweet pheromones she exuded, just like the ones from Estrus City. Shenyu found it strange that she was here. The handsome merman seemed to be an estrus, and his body was exuding aphrodisiac pheromones that stimulated her brain and made her body feel hot. She couldn't control herself and walked to the man's bed. He pulled her into his arms. Shenue was shocked and instinctively wanted to push him away, but she found her body was soft and weak. She couldn't help but tense up, and a strange feeling crept up from the bottom of her heart. The man's hand tightly clasped her slender waist, and his fishtail wrapped around her tighter and tighter, as if to fuse her into his flesh and blood. Shenyu met his ice blue eyes and her heart skipped a beat. What a beautiful man. If this was a dream, it was too arousing. She decided to be generous and help the big-tailed fish out. As she thought this, a rich aroma wafted from her body. Just as she was about to take the next step, a voice called out, "Ayu, Ayu, wake up!" Shenyue's eyes snapped open. The merman was gone, replaced by Simei's intense gaze. Simei's face was flushed, and his body was hot. His passionate breath was almost on her face. Shengyu knew that Simuye's beastly desires had been triggered. He tried to control his rising lust. Ayu, what's wrong? Why is such a strong aroma coming from you in your sleep? I can't control myself. A woman wetting the haymat in her dream? No wonder Simuye was burning hot and blushing. I'm sorry. I had a beautiful dream. She looked at him. Are you okay? Simuye had already lost his mind due to her sweet scent. He looked at her rosy, plump lips and almost leaned in. Ayu, did you want to continue that beautiful dream? He didn't even have to think to know what kind of dream it was. Is your estrus period here? Shenua's face turned hot when she heard this. Then she looked at Simei, wanting to tease him. A little. What should I do? Will you help me? Simei's blood rushed, and his face turned red as if it was about to bleed. He didn't dare to look at Shenyu. He wanted to say yes. Suddenly, Shenyu laughed. I'm just teasing you. Look how nervous you are. Simei was stunned. She was just teasing him, but he really wanted to be her man. How could he say such an embarrassing thing? At the same time, in the royal palace of the underwater kingdom, Lan Yue woke up from his dream. He felt the scent that had disappeared from his arms and was a little disappointed. He curled his lips. This time, the dream linking was finally successful. He had seen his little mate, but before he could fulfill his dream, he was awakened. He held the dream pearl in his hand, which contained the pheromone Shen Yue had left behind in the dream. Little one, you'll see me soon. Similarly, Muslin, who was guarding outside, was also unable to control himself due to Shen Yu's scent. As he smelled the aroma wafting from the cave, his blood involuntarily boiled. He remembered that day in Estra City, he was also stimulated by this sweet scent and lost himself. With that thought, Muslin painfully suppressed the heat in his body, and even his breath was hot. His subordinate also tried his best to suppress his boiling blood. General, Miss Shen Yu's scent is too strong. I've never seen any female emit such a powerful pheromone. It's deadly. Muslin's expression was cold. That woman, could she be doing something shameless with that bear in the cave? Just as he thought this, he saw Simei rush out of the cave. Muslin was stunned for a moment. Watching Simei run away? What does this mean? Is this bear running away because he can't control his beastly desires? He instantly felt a sigh of relief. Simei ran out of the cave, and Shen Yue didn't take it to heart. She didn't even know that there were two other people outside who were almost driven into Estras by her female scent. After she woke up, Simei still hadn't returned. She saw the two cubs sleeping soundly and wanted to go out and stretch her legs. As soon as she stepped out of the cave, she bumped into Simei, who had just returned. Simei subconsciously hugged her. He looked up and met Shen Yue's slightly contracted pupils. So beautiful. Simei stared at the woman in his arms. In just one night, she had changed. The black spots on her face had faded a lot, and her dark skin had lightened a few shades. Shen Yu noticed his trance and forgot to let go. Am I soft? Simei blurted out. Yes, soft. After he said it, he realized and blushed, too embarrassed to explain. The two cubs didn't know when they woke up and ran out. Mother, you're so beautiful, so pretty. Is it that exaggerated? She asked, looking at Simei. Simei's heart pounded, and he didn't dare to look her in the eye. Yes, very beautiful. Shen Yu was puzzled. It's only been one day. Why are Simei and the two cubs looking at me like I'm a goddess? Mother is really, really beautiful. We're telling the truth. She couldn't help but walk to the pond and look down at her reflection. This is what I look like? The original owner, Shen Yu, looked exactly like her. How is that possible, she wondered. Hidden in the shadows, Muslin was frozen in place, his eyes filled with shock and amazement. His subordinate was also stunned. General, is that Miss Shen Yu? Muslin was also in disbelief. What's going on? Simei, below, asked the question he wanted to ask. Ayu, what happened to your face? Shen Yu replied with a serious face. Well, it's a long story. My family arranged for me to be engaged to 7 beastmen, but I didn't like any of them, so I made myself ugly. I didn't expect them to be all scumbags who only cared about looks. As soon as they heard I was ugly, they were all scared away and came to annul the engagement. Muslin's eyes widened. What? She deliberately made herself ugly? His subordinate was also stunned. General, what does Miss Shen Yu mean by scumbag? Simei, who was also confused, asked, Ayue, what does scumbag mean? It means a bad man who loves one person after another and wants the one in the pot while eating the one in the bowl. Simei finally understood. He looked angry. You really shouldn't have wanted such a man. It's a good thing you annulled the engagement with them. Muslin's face darkened. When was I ever disloyal to my mate and loved one after another? His subordinate spoke the truth. While you didn't love one after another, you were indeed scared away by Miss Shenyu's appearance at the time. Muslin was hit in his weak spot and was speechless for a moment. This damned woman actually dared to trick me, the general, like this. His subordinate, who was a sharp one, said, "General, you don't need to be angry. We were all tricked by Miss Shenyu before, but you were smart enough not to annul the engagement with the Duke's family. Now Miss Shenyu has given birth to the little general, and since you still have a marriage contract, it's a fact that you are her mate. General, strike while the iron is hot." Unexpectedly, Erbao's voice came from below. "Mother, you're so beautiful. You should find us more handsome fathers." Dabao also turned his head and said, "Yeah, I think Uncle Bear is so handsome. Let him be our father." Shenyue was stunned for a moment and looked at Simei. Simei blushed and pursed his lips, not daring to look at Shenyue. Erbao hugged Simei's leg. "Uncle Bear, you can be Erbao's father." Muslin was so angry he clenched his fists. "This little leopard cub. I must go down there and beat him." His subordinate quickly pulled him back. "General, don't be impulsive. Now is not the time for you to show yourself." Simei's face was flushed, but he mustered up the courage to ask, "Ayue, can I?" Shenyu blinked. "The children all like you. You decide." Simei picked up Erbao. "Okay, Uncle Bear will protect you from now on." "And mother, Shenyue," Erbao added. Shenyue's lips curved. It's not a bad idea to tie Simei down with the children. Muslin in the shadows gritted his teeth. This damned woman wants to find a man right after giving birth. "General, the situation seems bad. This Simei seems to have a special relationship with Miss Shenyue," his subordinate said. "Don't tell me, I'm not blind. Look at that bear's blushing face, acting all pure and innocent. I can't let him succeed," Muslin replied. "I remember the ancient bear tribe is looking for a successor. Simei has been away for so many years. It's time for him to go home and inherit the position. The Black Panther royal family also has a few unmarried ladies. It would be a good match for this glorious returning warrior. Subordinate, go and arrange it. I'll make sure this great knight leaves immediately." Simei, who was ecstatic about Shenyue agreeing to let him be the children's father, had no idea that a dark hand behind the scenes would soon crush his beautiful dream. After Simei went hunting, Shenyue taught Dabao and Erbao to do morning exercises at the cave entrance. The two little ones excitedly stood behind her, following her movements. Muslin watched Shenyu from below. How can this woman's body be so flexible and her movements so beautiful? He was captivated. His subordinate was also amazed and began to secretly copy her movements. Suddenly, a sound came from the cave. Shenyu immediately stopped and rushed into the cave. She heard the sound of eggshells cracking. Sure enough, the eggshells all had cracks, and one was already broken. A creature that looked like a tiny dragon with 2 red horns on its head and a pair of dark red pupils crawled out. If she wasn't mistaken, it was a flood dragon. The next second, Shenyu's eyes widened. The little flood dragon transformed into a delicate little baby. Shenyu was stunned. Oh my god, he can transform right out of his shell. The flood dragon baby was fair and tender, with a blank expression on his face. He blinked his dark red eyes and coldly said 2 words. "Hold me." Shenyu's eyelids twitched. How do I describe this? I could see disdain and a sense of superiority in the eyes of a little baby. Is this not an illusion? "Hold me," the little flood dragon said in a milky voice again. Shenyu's scalp crawled. Sanbao. She slowly squatted down and reached out her hand. But Erbao, who had followed her, suddenly cried out. Erbao doesn't want Mother to hold this monster. Erbao is scared. The little flood dragon's pupils instantly narrowed, and his gaze was cold as it rested on Erbao. Shenyu was shocked. She could see killing intent in his eyes. He's a cold-blooded species, naturally heartless? Dabao was also a little scared. Mother, Dabao is also scared. He looks so scary. Shenyu suddenly realized that as a mother, she had to treat them equally. She couldn't show favoritism just because of their species, or Sanbao would be isolated by his brothers. She quickly comforted the 2 cubs. "You are not allowed to say that about your 3rd brother. Sanbao is a little flood dragon. Even though you look different, you are all Mother's babies." The little flood dragon's dark red eyes suddenly lit up. Shenyu reached out to him. "Sanbao, come to Mother." The little flood dragon's eyes were no longer cold, and he walked a few steps closer to her. As soon as Shenyu touched him, she shivered. Holding him was like holding a block of ice. Her heart instantly ached. This is also my child. With such a cold body, I wonder if he's cold, she thought, hugging him a little tighter. She didn't notice that another eggshell was cracking rapidly. In the blink of an eye, a small, completely red wolf cub crawled out. Dabao and Bao's eyes widened. "Mother, look, it's Sibao." Shen Yu looked over. The little guy looked up at Shen Yu. "You are my mother?" Shen Yu was speechless. This is a pure-blooded wolf, definitely a wolf tribe supreme. She held Sanbao and looked at Sibao. The little wolf cub was unhappy that she was still holding the little flood dragon. "I want a hug, mother. Hug me." The little flood dragon's pupils narrowed again. He stared at the little wolf cub on the ground. Number... The little wolf cub's eyes also hardened. "Yes, hug me." Shen Yue felt a bitter taste in her mouth. Why are they all different species? She forced her voice to be steady. Mother can hold one with each hand. Just as she was about to squat down to hold the little wolf cub, 2 more eggs started to crack. She immediately looked over, her heart pounding. She secretly prayed that no other species would appear, but 2 fluffy white little cubs crawled out of the eggshells. When she saw the little white fox and the little white tiger jump out at the same time, Shen Yue was completely speechless. My God, 7 eggs in 1 litter, and 6 are different species. She opened her mouth, but she couldn't even call out. Wu Bao and Liu Bao, the 2 little cubs, ignored her and started fighting as soon as they were out of their shells. The little white tiger with amber eyes looked at the little white fox next to him. "I came out first. You have to call me brother." The little white fox's aura was not at all inferior. "I was the one who jumped out first. I'm the brother." The little white tiger didn't give in. "It's me. I'm Wu Bao." The little white fox retorted. "No, I'm Wu Bao. You're Liu Bao." The 2 little ones scratched at each other, not giving in. Dabao, Bao, who came out first? Dabao and Bao were completely dumbfounded. Shen Yue was completely immersed in a shock that she couldn't express. The original owner was amazing. She slept with 6 different men at the same time and got pregnant with all their children. She couldn't help but look at the last egg. If another different species came out, it would mean she slept with 7 men at the same time. "Oh my God, this is insane!" She couldn't help but scream like a groundhog. In the shadows, Muslin's eyes twitched. "What's going on in the cave?" He saw Simei rush into the cave like a gust of wind. "Ayue." Simei looked at the 6 different cubs in disbelief, his jaw dropping to the floor. He was in a daze for a long time before he asked, "Ayue, how did you do it?" Shen Yu thought, how should I know? The original owner's appetite was too good, seeing his look. Simuye's face turned red with embarrassment. "I meant, they were all born at the same time?" Shen Yue took a deep breath and resigned herself to her fate. "Yes, aren't I amazing?" Simei looked at the 6 cubs and nodded mechanically. "Amazing? You're a beast." To think that Ayu was with 6 males at the same time, his face turned even redder. Muslin and his subordinate outside were about to jump with impatience. "General, what happened in the cave? Why is it suddenly so quiet? I'm so worried." Muslin's heart was also pounding. From the moment Shen Yue anxiously ran into the cave, to her scream, and then to Simei rushing in, his heart was unconsciously tied to her. Just as Muslin couldn't contain his anxiety, Shen Yu suddenly walked out of the cave, followed by 6 cubs. When Muslin saw them, his eyes almost popped out. If he wasn't mistaken, that baby with horns was a flood dragon, and one that could transform right out of his shell. His subordinate gasped. "General, it's a miracle. Not only are there 6 different species, but there's also the rarest flood dragon cub. It's unbelievable. No wonder Miss Shen Yu was screaming in the cave just now." Muslin looked at the cubs on the ground, feeling like he had been struck by lightning. How did this damned woman do it? Besides me, there were 5 other men that day. Who were the other 5? He wanted to kill them all. Simei also looked at the little flood dragon who had just transformed. "You is Sanbao," Shen Yu nodded. "Yes, he's a flood dragon." Simei was a little shocked. The flood dragon tribe was the most mysterious in the beast world, and the great emperor of the flood dragon tribe was even more mysterious and noble. If they knew that a flood dragon cub had been born, wouldn't the entire tribe be in an uproar? Who is the father of the little flood dragon? Does Ayu even know? Simei looked at Shen Yue, wanting to find the answer on her face. It seemed that Ayu was clueless about the fathers of these children. But now it was confirmed that Ayue, who could give birth to a flood dragon cub, was a legendary SSS plus fertility female. He was a little worried. If the entire beast world found out, she would be in danger. But no matter what, he would always protect her. Muslin, in the shadows, also thought of this. He had to stay by her side at all times to protect her. Then he would find a way to get her to return to Twilight City with him. Otherwise, if her rare physique was exposed in this barren land, it would cause a huge sensation. At this moment, Muslin didn't realize that his attitude and thoughts had undergone a complete change in a short amount of time. In Baron City, Huang Zie stood in the house where Shenua used to live. The dragon horns on his head suddenly emitted a strong light. His subordinate saw this. "Great Emperor, your dragon horns!" Huang Zie's dark red eyes narrowed. He felt the pheromones transmitted by the dragon horns and locked onto a new destination. He curled his sexy thin lips. "She's not here, but she used to live here." "Great Emperor, does that mean your mate used to live here?" the subordinate asked. Huang Zie frowned. "My mate" was a new term for him. The subordinate continued. "But the scent left here is at least 2 months old. Since she was pregnant with the Great Emperor's offspring, her identity must be extraordinary. But why would she live in this barren city?" Huang Zi gave him a cold look when he heard the question. His subordinate was startled and realized he shouldn't have asked so many questions. Huang Zi squinted his eyes. The courtyard in front of him was not big or small, and it was considered safe, but the facilities were very basic. It was barely habitable. He didn't expect the woman who was pregnant with his child to live in such a place. But now she had left. According to the direction of the pheromone, she went to the north of Baron City, to Baron Mountain, which was not far from the border. Why would a weak female go there with her child and not stay in the city? Doesn't she know how dangerous that place is? With that thought, his expression darkened. Could it be that someone drove her out of the city? Just then he heard, "That ugly woman must have died outside already. This house belongs to me now." A beautiful female with a group of guards came from outside. "Hurry up, throw all her things out. I'll live here from now on." Huang Zie and his subordinate were hidden in the shadows, watching the woman and her guards come in and start moving things out of the house. The commotion attracted a crowd of onlookers outside the courtyard. "Miss Lily is really going to live here," one person said. "This used to be the house of that ugly female from the royal city. Ever since Miss Lily drove her out of the city, she hasn't come back. She must have died outside, right? It's a good thing she's dead. She was so ugly and was pregnant with a wild man's child. It's a disgrace to us females. Her child would be a bastard anyway. Now that she's gone, we have peace and quiet." This courtyard was originally Miss Lily's, but that ugly female moved in first. As the daughter of the city lord, what's wrong with asking her to give up a house? It was her who insisted on staying and even got involved with one of Miss Lily's mates. Of course Miss Lily had to drive her out. Huang Zie, in the shadows, listened to the crowd's discussion. His aura dropped a few degrees. A wild man's child? A bastard? His child was called a bastard? It seemed he wasn't mistaken. This woman was driven out of Baron City after being bullied. His subordinate, feeling the coldness emanating from his great emperor, almost froze. He cautiously asked, "Great Emperor, should this subordinate go and kill these people?" Huang Zie squinted his eyes and looked at the culprit in the house. The daughter of this Baron City lord is quite beautiful. His subordinate looked at the smug woman below, a little confused. The great emperor gave a wicked smile. "I'm sure she'll be even more beautiful when she's in estrus. I wonder if she can withstand the beastly desires of the males in the surrounding area. Will she also become pregnant with a bastard?" His subordinate's eyes widened in shock. The great emperor was going to kill her. He could already imagine Ms. Lily's tragic ending. The next second, Huang Zie's slender fingers pressed together, and a powerful force, mixed with a wisp of powder, was sucked toward Mo Lily below. The tiny red powder went straight into Mo Lily's nose and mouth. "What's that smell? It's so disgusting." She waved her hand dismissively, but before she could finish, her body started to feel hot and itchy. "It's so hot." As she spoke, her body began to emit female pheromones. The guards who were busy moving things smelled the scent and looked at her as if they had been invited. Some of the guards with weaker spiritual power had already begun to move toward her, their eyes filled with lust. Mo Lily immediately reacted. She turned around and saw that they were all approaching her with greedy desires in their eyes. Her heart was shocked. "What are you doing? Don't come any closer." She stumbled backward, but due to the effects of the drug, the scent from her body became more and more intense. In a short time, the eyes of the dozen or so males in the room became bloodshot. Mo Lily knew something was wrong and tried to run, but her body was too weak. She ran 2 steps and fell to the ground. At that moment, a male dog beast lunged at her and grabbed her fair leg. Mo Lily screamed in horror, but the male had lost his mind. He tore her skirt, and her smooth skin was exposed to the air. The male dog beast's eyes turned red, and he started to drool. Mo Lily felt disgusted and screamed, "How dare you? I'm your master. If you dare to rebel, I'll kill you." The male dog beast hesitated for a moment, but the other males, seeing Mo Lily's fair skin, were completely ignited with lust. They swarmed toward Mo Lily. Mo Lily was so scared she cried. Go away, all of you! The males swarmed her like hungry wolves. Mo Lily's screams echoed outside. The onlookers and single males, smelling her scent and hearing her screams, were also stimulated and lost their minds. They rushed into the house like crazy. Wang Xie had no interest in watching anymore. He turned and left with his subordinate. His subordinate, walking beside him, thought of Miss Lily's miserable state and the sight of the males swarming the house, and he couldn't help but shiver. The great emperor is truly ruthless, to use such a poisonous method. Miss Lily will be unrecognizable in 3 days, so never mess with the vengeful and dark great emperor. He cautiously asked, "Great emperor, where are we going now?" Huang Zie's voice was still cold. Barren Mountain. That night, as Shenua lay in bed, looking at the cubs hanging on her, she still felt a little unreal. But tonight, she had a dream. She dreamed that a few of her cubs were playing in a forest. Wu Bao and Liu Bao were playing in an open field. Suddenly, a rock rolled down the slope. The 2 cubs didn't have time to react, and the giant rock crushed them. From then on, she lost Wu Bao and Liu Bao forever. Shenua woke up with a pounding heart. She looked at the cubs sleeping with her on the hay mat and let out a sigh of relief. In the morning, she saw Simei weaving grass ropes at the cave entrance. His muscular arms were pulling the ropes and drops of sweat fell from his slightly open chest. It was a scene full of tension. Shenyu coughed. She didn't even know when he had woken up. Simei looked up and met Shenua's fair and flawless face. His pupils instantly shrank, and his face turned red. Compared to yesterday, Ayu was even more radiant today. Just looking at her was enough to make one unable to look away, especially her full lips, which made him want to kiss her. Simuye's Adam's apple bobbed. He only snapped out of his trance when Shenue walked closer to him. He said in a hoarse voice with a red face, "I saw you sleeping on the ground last night, so I want to weave more grass mats to make you and the cubs more comfortable." Sheng Yu didn't expect Simuye to have woken up last night. She smiled. "Wait until we finish eating. We'll go cut some bamboo and build a bamboo house, so we don't have to sleep in the cave anymore." Simuye was so captivated by her smile that his lips went slack. He was completely mesmerized, a foolish smile on his face. Muslin, in the shadows, was also blinded by her smile, and his breathing slowed down. This damned woman. Why is she seducing men so early in the morning? Did you do what I asked you to do? When is this bear gonna leave? His subordinate, who was also captivated for a moment, immediately came to his senses. It should be soon, within a few days. The most he can stay is 3 days. If he doesn't leave in 3 days, I won't mind doing it myself. The subordinate's mouth twitched. "General, you've changed. You didn't say that a few days ago." Simuye below was so infatuated with Shenue that he didn't even hear what she said. He just answered mechanically, "If we don't sleep in the cave, where do we sleep?" Shenue snapped her fingers at his dazed expression. Simuye looked at the hand in front of his face and nodded with a blushing face. "I'll do whatever you say." Shenyu's eyelids twitched at his bashful look. "This face of mine is a curse, but she would rather be beautiful enough to make people angry than to be so ugly that everyone shunned her. She liked this kind of beauty, the kind that shone with confidence." When the cubs came out, Shen Yu's meal was ready. Since she was in a good mood after her appearance was restored, she specially made a tomato egg soup and grilled a wild goat that Simei had caught. Muslin, who had been hiding in the shadows, looked at the sizzling goat meat and drooled. His subordinate also swallowed his saliva. "General, what do you think Miss Shen Yu's grilled wild goat tastes like?" Muslin glanced at him. He also wanted to know what it tasted like. But when would he get to eat it? Below, the cubs behind Shen Yu's back had been drooling for a long time. They couldn't wait and sat at the stone table, staring at the grilled goat in the middle. The meal was very heartwarming. The cubs who could transform learned to eat by themselves, and the ones who couldn't were fed by Shen Yue and Simuye. Seeing Bao being held in Simuye's arms and fed meat, Muslin was completely jealous. He hadn't even held his own cub yet, and this bear had already held him twice. Meanwhile, Bao, who was in Simuye's arms, said, "Uncle Bear is so awesome." Bao likes Uncle Bear feeding him. Simuye was so excited he became even happier as he fed him. Muslin, on the other hand, was so angry that his nose was crooked. Who is the real father of this little leopard cub? With that, his face turned cold, and he fiercely told his subordinate, "Can you make this bear leave tonight?" The subordinate's pupils trembled. "General, don't make it difficult for me. I can't think of a way to make him leave tonight." Muslin glared at him. "What use are you?" He thought for a moment and advised, "General, I know you're unhappy, but for now, Miss Shen Yue still needs Simei to help her. Otherwise, she'll have to take care of the children and cook all by herself. She'll be exhausted. Didn't Miss Shenyu just say she wanted to build a bamboo house? How about you endure for 2 more days and wait for him to finish the work? Muslin heard this and thought, I can also do the work. Why do I need him? He didn't want this bear to be with the woman and his children for even a second. No, General. You can't show yourself yet. You have to appear at the most critical moment to leave the most profound impression on Miss Shenyu. Besides, a free laborer is a free laborer, isn't he? Muslin thought to himself, I'm not an idiot. Although a free laborer is good, if I let this bear stay with the woman for a long time, what if something really happens between them? Wouldn't I have another competitor? 2 days at most, otherwise I will personally make him leave. The subordinate secretly prayed that the people from the ancient bear family would act quickly. Otherwise, if the great general had to personally drive someone away, Simei would probably lose a layer of skin. Simei, who was holding Airbao, was smiling happily, completely unaware that he only had 2 days left. After dinner, Simei went to cut bamboo. He told Shenua to rest in the cave. Shenyu, however, had seen some mushrooms in the forest 2 days ago and wanted to pick them to make mushroom stew for her cubs. So she grabbed a basket and took the cubs with her. Shenua and her children arrived at a river at the foot of a hill. She put the basket under a tree and went to wash her hands by the river. The cubs also happily played by the water. Shenua suddenly found some crabs under the rocks by the river. She smiled and held them up happily. Babies, look what Mother found. Before she could finish, her pupils contracted. From this angle, this was the open field she saw in her dream last night. And Wu Bao and Liu Bao were playing right on that slope. It was exactly like her dream. She looked at the slope and saw a huge rock precariously, hanging there, about to roll down. Shenyu's breath caught in her throat. She threw the crabs and rushed toward them. At the same time she got up, the huge rock on the slope fell. Shenyu's voice cracked. Wu Bao! Liu Bao! The 2 little cubs heard Shenyu's voice and looked up. The giant rock on the slope was rolling right toward them. The 2 cubs were so scared they ran, but it was too late. Shenyu lunged forward and threw them out of the way. In the blink of an eye, the giant rock was on top of her. She instinctively hugged her head and closed her eyes, waiting for the pain. Suddenly, the giant rock exploded as if something had pierced it. The imagined pain didn't come. She opened her eyes to see the shattered rocks scattered everywhere. Only a few pieces grazed her arm. Before she could figure out what happened, the cubs swarmed her. A group of cubs were so scared they cried. Even the cold San Bao had a pale face. He stood next to her, holding her hand tightly, afraid that she would disappear. Shenyu's eyes turned red. At that moment, she really thought she would never see them again. She sat on the ground and tightly hugged the cubs. While comforting them, she looked at the scattered rocks. Quote, "What happened just now? How did the rock suddenly explode and shatter like this? And even change its trajectory just as it was about to hit me? Unless there was an external force." Her eyes scanned the surroundings. Did someone secretly save me? Muslin also let out a long breath. Thankfully, I acted in time. If I had been a second later, I can't imagine the consequences. Just now, he had felt a strong presence nearby. He was about to investigate when this shocking scene happened below. His subordinate, who had just finished the task he was given, returned to his side, also shocked. "General, what happened? Why is Miss Shenyu hurt?" "A giant rock fell and almost hit her. The general saved her." "Of course it was me, not you." Muslin glared at him. Then he thought of something. "Did you feel any other presence around here just now?" His subordinate immediately focused his spiritual power, but didn't feel anything. Muslin frowned. "My intuition can't be wrong. Someone was definitely here just now." On the other side, 2 people stood in the void. Huang Zie's beautiful face was a little strained as he looked at the naked little flood dragon standing next to Shenyu below. The aura on his body changed with his emotions, showing the turmoil in his heart. "It's really my son." His subordinate was also shocked. "Great Emperor, is that really your child? Was a flood dragon cub really born?" Huang Zie stared at the woman below. He had just arrived here by following the pheromones from his dragon horns. Before he could even get a good look, he saw the woman selflessly save the 2 cubs in her arms when the rock rolled down. It was extremely dangerous, and he hadn't planned to act. After all, when he arrived, he found a few other unusual auras around the woman. Sure enough, the person hiding in the shadows acted in time, but he also saw who that person was. It was a member of the Black Panther royal family. At the same time, he also saw the heartwarming scene below. The woman hugged all the cubs in her panic, and she held his son tightly in her arms. Although she had her back to him and he couldn't see her face, he could feel his son's happy and content mood through the pheromones he was emitting. He could also feel how much his son liked this woman. And through the woman's voice and actions, he knew how much she loved and protected these cubs. This is his son's mother, the woman he had intercourse with. Below, she hugged the little flood dragon and said, "San Bao, don't be afraid, mother is here." Huang Zie's eyes were deep. So his son is the third one. The feeling of seeing his son was so different from what he had imagined. He was really a father now. He had been a lonely bachelor for 100 years, and suddenly he had a child. It was completely unexpected. Below, Shenyu's voice was gentle and loving. "San Bao, you're worried about mother, aren't you? That shows that deep down, San Bao is warm." San Bao's expression changed slightly, and he lay in her arms without a word. The other cubs were still crying. Liu Bao loves mother too. Liu Bao is also afraid of mother getting hurt. "Dabao too! Dabao will kiss it better." Si Bao is also afraid. Si Bao doesn't want mother to get hurt. What if she keeps bleeding? Bao is scared. "Uncle Bear, come quickly. I don't want mother to keep bleeding." Bao cried and shouted, tears and snot streaming down his face. Shenyu looked at them and couldn't help but laugh. She put the cubs on the ground and looked at her arm. It hurt, but she could bear it. "Ayu, are you okay, Ayu?" Simei rushed over like the wind, panicked. Shenyu happened to turn back with a smile. Huang Zie finally saw her face. Her beautiful face and her liquid-like eyes instantly captivated him. His subordinate was also stunned. So beautiful. Simei was also mesmerized by Shenyu's look, but he didn't care. He saw her bleeding arm. He grabbed her arm nervously. "What happened? Are you hurt?" The cubs immediately chattered. "Uncle Bear, a rock rolled down and hurt mother." "Uncle Bear, quickly stop the bleeding. Bao doesn't want mother to keep bleeding." Simuye's face showed not only heartache, but also self-blame. "If only I were here, she wouldn't have gotten hurt." "Ayu, does it hurt?" Shenyu smiled. "It's just a small wound, it doesn't hurt much." "How can it not hurt? It's such a deep cut." "I'll take you back to clean it," he said, and picked up Shenyu. Shenyu felt a little uncomfortable being carried in his arms. It was her first time being carried like a princess. Muslin, in the shadows, clenched his fists. "This damned bear is taking credit for my work." His subordinate didn't dare to speak. What can you do? Simei is also being kind. Miss Shenyu is hurt. No male would let her walk back. On the other side, Huang Zia stared at Simei, who was holding Shenyu. His aura was so cold it could freeze water. Investigate this bear's identity and his relationship with this woman. His subordinate shivered and didn't dare to say a word. The great emperor had just found his mate, and he already saw her with another man, who seemed to be very close to her. Shenyu was carried all the way back to the cave entrance by Simei. Simei used a bamboo tube to get some water and prepared to clean her wound. He tore Shenyu's sleeve. Her arm was as white as jade and so delicate that it looked like it would shatter with a single touch. Even with the blood, it didn't affect its ultimate beauty. Simei's breathing slowed down. Shenyu noticed he wasn't moving and looked down to see him staring at her arm with a rapid breath. She was stunned. "Is he spacing out again?" she thought. "How about you give me the water? I'll clean it myself," she said. Simei immediately came to his senses, his face red. "I'm sorry, Yayo. I'll clean it for you now." He reached out and held her arm, his fingers trembling as if he was afraid to touch her. His heart was pounding with excitement. Shenyu sighed in her heart. Simei was good at everything, but he was too shy. If she let him chase a woman, he would probably be waiting until the flowers withered. This bear, though interesting, made her feel a sense of powerlessness. She preferred someone a little more proactive. "It's just a small cut, don't be nervous. Did you forget? I'm a doctor." She took the water from his hand and poured it on her arm, quickly cleaning it. She turned around. "You've worked hard today. You've cut so much bamboo. Go rest for a while." Simei was stunned. He just realized how useless he was. Shenyu went back into the cave and saw the cubs sleeping peacefully. She couldn't help but think about what happened today. She still felt a lingering fear. The fear of the giant rock hitting her was very real. But she couldn't figure out who saved her. With that thought, her expression darkened. Ever since Bao was taken out of the cave that day, she always felt like a pair of eyes was watching her. Who is constantly watching me and my children? Why are they spending so much time just watching and not showing themselves? She could feel that the person in the shadows was not simple. Even Simei hadn't noticed his presence, so even though she knew someone was there, she couldn't show it. She had to be cautious and careful. Shenua opened her spiritual spring and took a drop of vitality water, dripping it on the wound on her arm. After the skin absorbed it, she got up to cook. Simei felt useless and went to cut bamboo like a madman, trying to tire himself out. Shenyu looked at him, angrily rushing to the bamboo forest, and couldn't help but laugh. Is this pure-hearted bear angry at his own incompetence? When Simei came back with the bamboo, Shenyu had already made grilled wild boar and braised goat. Huang Zie's mouth twitched as he looked at the cubs sitting at the stone table, especially his son, who was clumsily trying to feed himself with something called chopsticks. His eyes were full of emotions. At this moment, his subordinate spoke. "Great Emperor, I found out. This bear is the former #1 knight of the royal city, Simei. His real identity is the third young master of the ancient bear family. Huang Zie had some impression of him. I thought he was dead. How is he still alive?" The subordinate continued. "Great Emperor, you asked me to investigate the relationship between Simei and Misayu. I think they don't have a relationship. There's no mark of a mate in Simei's bloodline. He's a single male." Huang Zie, of course, already knew that. He had sensed it just now. This bear is still a single male and has not been marked by any female. It seems they haven't had any intimate relationship. They are just living together. His expression changed, and he didn't say anything more. With Simei as a laborer, the construction of the bamboo house was much faster. The foundation was built in one day. Suddenly, Simei stopped what he was doing. His ears twitched, and his eyes narrowed. Shenua saw him standing still and knew something was wrong. "What's wrong?" she asked. Simei released his spiritual power and sensed that people were coming this way. He looked at the distant mountain with a wary expression. Shenyu also looked in that direction and frowned. "Can you tell who they are? They're not weak. They all have advanced spiritual power, at least A level. But how can there be males with C-level spiritual power or above in this barren land? Unless they're from another place with a mission." The cubs were immediately scared and hid behind Shenyu. Simei felt that the group of people was getting closer. His eyebrows furrowed slightly, as he seemed to sense something. His deep eyes changed expressions, and he became nervous. "You, I'm going out for a bit. You take the children and hide in the cave." Shenyu saw the change in his expression and nodded. "Okay. Be careful." She didn't hesitate and took the children to go back to the cave. As soon as she turned around, her vision went black, as if she was in another scene. In the scene, Simei was walking toward a group of people from the ancient bear family. One of them, who looked a bit like him, opened his arms and called out to him warmly. Simei's expression was excited, and he quickly walked toward him, as if they were long-lost brothers. The moment they hugged, the other person had a knife hidden in his hand. While Simei was not paying attention, he stabbed him in the chest. Simei immediately spat out blood and fell to the ground. Shenyu gasped when she saw this. At that moment, Simei's worried voice came from her ear. "Ayo, what's wrong?" The cubs at the cave entrance were also shouting, "Mother, why are you standing still? Hurry up and come in." Shenua's vision quickly cleared. "Ayue, why did you suddenly space out?" Shenua looked at Simei and grabbed his arm. "Don't go!" Simei was stunned by her sudden anxious expression. "Don't be afraid. Nothing will happen with me here. This group of people is probably here for me. I need to go handle it." Shenua held his arm tightly. "But you might be in danger if you go." She didn't know if what she just saw was real or fake, but with her previous experience of premonitions, she felt that what she saw was probably going to come true. "Don't worry, I'll be careful. Don't be scared. I'll be back after I handle it. Just wait for me in the cave with the children." Seeing that he insisted on going, Shenyu could only warn him, "If the other party wants to get close to you, don't go. Don't get too close. The other party might not be a good person, and it could be dangerous." Simei knew that Shenyu was worried about him, and his heart was filled with joy. He thought that after this was over, he would formally confess to her. He would be her mate and live with her. With that thought, his handsome face turned slightly red, and he nodded. "Okay, I'll be careful." After saying that, Simei turned and rushed into the forest.